Hi, I'm Troy with Tsunami Compressed Air Solutions. I want to thank you for your purchase of the Tsunami wall-mounted aftercooler. We're going to get started on installation. First thing you're going to want to do is open up the box. In the box is going to be a mounting diagram that you're going to be able to use to put up on the wall. You're going to want to slide the aftercooler out. It comes mounted in the foam. Take the foam packets off. Set your aftercooler on the floor or on the wall. Included are 2 wall brackets. You'll want to set those next to them as well. And then there'll be some mounting hardware in a bag. That consists of a bolt, lock washer, and a flat washer. And that's going to attach the aftercooler to the brackets. All right, so now that we've got our aftercooler, one of the first things we're going to want to do before utilizing the mounting template is determine the direction of flow. When it's mounted on a wall, from left, the top part's the inlet, to the right, which is the bottom port, which is going to be the outlet. As the air is cooling down, it's going to drop out moisture, and we're going to want that moisture to flow downstream, which is why the outlet is always going to be on the bottom. Now this heat exchanger fan and shroud assembly will allow us to flip-flop that direction. Now, when mounting to the wall, one of the first things you want to do, get the mounting template out. Some rigs are going to have walls that are nice and smooth. You're not going to have an understanding of exactly where your stud is at. Another thing, especially in a mobile application, in a industrial or a fixed location type assembly, you still want to find the studs because you want to determine if it's a 16 or 24 on center stud. It doesn't matter if they're steel or wood. We're going to be recommending is pre-drilling the mounting holes anyway. You can use a stud finder to find the studs so that you can make sure that when you're putting the template up, it's going to align properly for you. So we've already determined our inlet is coming from this side. The outlet's going to be down here. I want to mount it here. It can go up further. There's a lot of different various mounting options that are going to be available. Thoroughly go through the instructions because the way in which you mount the aftercooler is going to affect the performance of it. In a perfect world, the optimal position for this aftercooler is going to be mounted lower to the floor in a perpendicular position to the wall. And it can go in either direction like that. What we're going to be doing is, because space is really an issue in some of the mobile applications that this is going to be utilized, and so floor space is a premium. So what we're going to do is mount it parallel to the wall and suck it in a little bit so that we maximize the amount of space with the least amount of overhang in our work area that's going to be used in this truck. When I talk about performance, when a unit is perpendicular to the wall in a perfect world, we're going to get an approach temperature to the ambient of about 3 to 5 degrees, meaning that if our incoming air is 220 degrees and we're standing in 70-degree air, the air that should be coming out of that aftercooler is going to be right around 75 degrees. When we go to a parallel position to the wall, tucked up closer, we're really limiting the amount of airflow that's going to be able to make that heat exchanger effective. So our approach temperature is going to be about somewhere between 13 and 20 degree from ambient. So the outcoming air from the aftercooler might be right around 90 degree at its worst. Depending on what kind of airflow we get, we may see performance down around 83 to 85 degrees. So that's really optimal. So to use the template's pretty easy. You can either tack it up with some tape, use a couple little tap type bolts or something like that. So like I say, if you don't have a way to be able to map out where your studs are at, you're going to want to mark those studs with the stud finder. We have 16 on center studs, so this template's going to show me where I need to be mounting this. So I can align the 16 on center slots of the mounting bracket to our stud here. And get it mapped out here. And as you can see, we're 16 on center, we're lined up. These become my drill points for the mounting hardware. Now you will be responsible to make sure the mounting hardware you use is going to be able to support about 25 pounds of weight at its max. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a drill. And for me, I'm just using some 1/4 inch lag bolts. In a mobile application, you're going to want to make sure you don't use too long of a lag bolt or mounting hardware, because if you plunge through the outer wall of your vehicle, that is on you. You can get shorter lag bolts if you need to. Like I say, you're just going to want to pre-drill that location. Once we've got our holes drilled, we can take our template down. There again, you're going to want to make sure the slots you use on the bracket align with the slots that are on that mounting template. Okay, so doing the installation is much easier if you have a second pair of hands to help hold the aftercooler, but it is possible to do it by yourself. Once you get the brackets kind of up, and we can make the final adjustments with a wrench. What I like to do is I get one of the bolts and I'll start it in on one side, so that when I lift the aftercooler up, I can support it on the bracket on this side. As I move over to this side, to get one of the bolts started over here. And once I've got that bolt started, now I can come back over. Like I say, much easier with a second pair of hands, but you can do this by yourself. All right, so now I've got a level. I'm just gonna fix it to the aftercooler. The brackets are loose themselves already. There's a few little minor adjustment that can be made on the brackets themselves. So I leave this bracket loose since this is the side I haven't tightened. And you tighten one side first, get it nice and snug. You don't necessarily tighten the wall bracket itself. Because this bracket's loose, I'm going to want it to be able to allow it to suck in to the aftercooler. There again, you don't need to over tighten these, but you definitely want to get them tight. You know, nice and snug, a little bit of torque on them, you know, to make sure the lock washer is engaged for the vibration. And like I say, you can get a little bit of room with the mounting brackets for an adjustment, but I wouldn't worry about those. Then you can finish these off and get them nice and tight. You don't want to over tighten your bolts sometimes to avoid potentially stripping them out. Especially when you're mounting into a steel stud. So the bracket's nice and tight. And this goes back to then, now that I've got my level, I can loosen up the bolts that are securing the shroud to the brackets and to the aftercooler. And so you can make these adjustments. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Any water that accumulates in this aftercooler, the way it currently stands, which is a little slightly skewed, it's moving all the water in the right direction. So we're a little higher on this side and it's tapering it down, so that's a good thing. But see, all these different adjustments can come from these bolts. And so depending on how perfect you try to be, you can create all kinds of adjustments to firm everything up. Once you get it to where you want, then you just tighten everything back up as far as the aftercooler and the shroud go. And that's right where I want it. So now that we've got it mounted, you're gonna do all your plumbing and stuff, pop these plugs out, use appropriate thread sealant. Then you need to have this plugged into a standard 110, 120 volt outlet. Once it's plugged in, make sure you turn the on and off switch. If you're not using the system, you can leave the switch off. It's okay to just leave it plugged in. If it's a mobile application, you shut your compressor and generator down, it's okay to leave it in an on position. One thing is, don't worry about it. If you leave this plugged in, you get your system up and running, and you forget to turn these fans on, the only thing it's going to affect is how cool the air is coming out. So your performance is obviously going to be affected, but it's not going to be detrimental to the system itself. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure you're removing everything, so you're going to want some form of filtration downstream of the aftercooler. Tsunami recommends, at the very least, our 50 CFM Tsunami water separator. It can be mounted directly on the outlet coming out, or it can be mounted down towards your application, whether it's a tire machine, some sort of mobile paint equipment, or spray foam, drum pumps, the spray foam reactor, any application that you have that you want to make sure you have pre-treated air. This aftercooler is a great start. For any other questions, contact customer service at 800-782-5752 or check us out at tsunami.us.com.